MIM Virtual Expo 2021.
Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to come listen to me today. I hope you find the next 15 to 20 minutes useful and insightful. I'd just like to say a quick thank you to Adam and the team at MIM for inviting me back this year to do another talk. I'm really honoured to be able to come back and very excited about sharing my thoughts with you. I'd also like to say that this was not a one-man show in terms of writing this process and piecing together all of the pieces. This was very much a team effort, and I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody at Cityfibre for their input and help during the creation of this process. So what I'd like to go through with you today then is I'll give you a quick introduction into who I am, what Cityfibre do and what our main mission is, and also why we decided to do this whole project. And then talk to you about what were the goals and how did we achieve them, what did we learn after doing this whole process transformation, and then I'll talk to you about what's next and what we're going to do over the next 12 months and beyond now the process has actually gone live. So we'll quickly start off then with a quick introduction into who I am. So my name's Daniel Walker. I've been working within the IT service desk support environment for the last sort of 15 years now. I've worked in various industries, FMCG, recruitment, MSP, ISPs, working my way through various roles such as first line support, second line support, various team leader roles, service desk management roles, and also sort of where I am now into a more of a process management kind of role. I've been working for Cityfibre now for around 2 years. I'm currently accountable for the major incident and problem management processes, as well as leading a small team of 2 people who sort of manage and operate those processes. In terms of Cityfibre and our mission, so our determination and clear vision, which remains the same today, would see us move forward at a pace to compete directly with BT and Virgin across the entire UK towns and cities, changing the landscape of the UK's communications market forever. Our well-planned city design and build model is tried and tested and unique to Cityfibre. We design our network to serve all the major markets, public sector, businesses, mobile and consumers. We aim to plan twice and dig once. So why have we started this process? So for those of you who saw last year's talk, I spoke about how Cityfibre acquired a company called Internet back in 2017. And when I first joined the business, there were 2 separate processes. There was one for Internet and one for Cityfibre, and both those processes weren't quite mature enough to help us lead the way into where the business is going over the next few years. Our aim was to create one holistic process which was scalable to create a positive customer experience during what is typically a difficult situation. This new process will create the foundations to be built on and grow as we explore new opportunities with the technology integrating with products such as ServiceNow and Microsoft Teams. But again, I'll go into a little bit more about that a bit later on. So let's talk about what those goals were that I'd set and how we achieved them. So when I set out to create this process, there were 4 things in mind that I wanted to achieve, that I wanted this process to be. One of those was scalable. So Cityfibre is on a huge growth journey. So going from approximately 40,000 live connected services, which is where we're at now, growing into the millions, within 5 years. Naturally, the more services we provide could potentially lead to more incidents or more major incidents. So this process needs to be able to be usable without having to make major changes to the process to accommodate this new growth. The next goal was this process needed to be holistic, which means this process needs to sit across the whole Cityfibre business and all of its products and customers. We previously had different processes for different customers, which caused confusion when it came to knowing what to do when the pressure is on. So this is about making sure we have one process across all of our products for all of our customers, and making it easy for everybody involved with the process to ensure that they know what to do and when to do it. The customer experience needs to be a positive one. So just as important as resolving the incident as quickly as possible, we also need to make sure the customer experience is a positive one. So this was designed with the customer in mind to ensure their experience is a good one during a potentially difficult time. And the last goal was that this process and everything around it needs to be measurable. We must be able to measure our performance for any of the major incidents that we run. This will allow us to track how well we're doing and also track the performance of our major incident managers as well. This will allow us to constantly improve the process and the skills of our teams. So what I'd like to go through now is a little bit more detail into how we achieved our goals for each individual area that I mentioned. So number one, in terms of being scalable, we minimized emails, especially internally, by utilizing Microsoft Teams and its channels feature. We were able to remove the use of emails internally and instead invite people to subscribe to a channel within Microsoft Teams where all the updates are posted to. This means that there are no distribution lists that need to be kept up to date, and all internal colleagues are able to access all the info that they need to. For our customers, we also no longer send major updates directly to customers' emails. Instead, we created a new network status page where all updates are all pushed out to and are accessible for all of our customers. They can then subscribe to the status page and receive notifications when updates are posted. This again means less distribution lists that we need to keep up to date. As we grow as a business, that means more customers, more email addresses, which, as you can agree, it isn't easy to keep on top of. Templated communications. So we have created a set of templates for all of our communications during major incidents. This means that no matter how big or small the incident is, the experience will be the same for our customers in terms of what to expect from our updates. All updates contain a breakdown of what actions have been taken since the previous update and what the next steps are, which means that our customers know what we've been doing in between updates, and this helps drive down calls to our technical service centres, allowing them to focus on the actual resolution of the major incidents. And then automation and integration. So thanks to integration between ServiceNow, Microsoft Teams, and our in-house built network status page, we were able to drive all comms via ServiceNow in one click. So this means this will push out all of our updates to all of our relevant systems, ensuring minimum effort and minimum clicks and times for our major incident managers, regardless of how big or small the incident is, and how many incidents have been raised due to the major incident, and this allows multiple major incidents to be run at the same time if that were to happen. Moving on then, the next area that we'll look at is holistic. So how did we achieve these goals? So I wanted to make sure that this new process was non-product dependent. So regardless of the product that was impacted by the major incident, this process was designed to be effective for all products and services Cityfibre provide. This means there are no separate instructions or processes for each individual product. This also means that all of our customers have the same experience. So it doesn't matter how big or small this customer is, we have no separate instructions, we have no separate processes, which can and has driven confusion before. So all of our customers receive the same experience during a major incident, which again just makes that whole running a major incident that little bit easier without having to worry about doing certain things for different customers. So this process now truly sits across our whole business, and we have one process for all products and all customers involved. In terms of the actual customer experience, as I mentioned before, we built a new network status page to allow our customers a single point of contact when it comes to getting updates during a major incident. This not only saves customers having to call in or rely on constantly checking their emails, but also drives down calls into our technical service center, ensuring they can focus on resolving the incident as quickly as possible. Further improvements will also include planned maintenance within the network status page as well. So clear and consistent updates. All updates will follow a template, ensuring that all communications are consistent and our customers know what to expect. This means that no matter which major incident manager is running the incident, the level of communication is always to a high standard. And due to the new process and the culture within Cityfibre technical teams, when the major incident alarm bells ring, it's all hands on board with no questions asked, meaning the right people are in the right place at the right time when needed, working hard towards restoring the services as quickly as possible, ensuring minimum disruption to our customers. Next one is measurable. So meaningful KPIs. Thanks to systems and reporting improvements, we're now able to track lots of KPIs such as time taken to detect, time taken to accept the major incident, time taken to first customer update, time taken to resolve from the point of the incident start and the major incident start, and then time taken for the customer report availability following the major incident. Also, we've developed a major incident scorecard where each individual major incident can be measured on performance and given an overall score. This helps us see how each major incident manager is performing and identify potential areas of improvement. The scorecard will also track the customer's experience following future development around NPS style scoring as well. So this process went live back in April, and since then we've had lots of feedback internally and externally, and what I'd like to go through now is to talk you through what we learned from the last couple of months and how effective the new major incident process has been. So the first area is around training. So this might seem obvious, but if your team does not understand the core values of the process and don't truly believe in it, then they will never buy into it properly. So to ensure you have the right training, ensure you have the right training methods in place to get everyone on board with how the process works, why you have it in place, and more importantly, what their role is during a major incident. If you get this right, you will find your teams are quicker to get on board and there are less questions when the pressure is on. The next big area that we had lots of learning areas in is around the culture from within the business around the major incident process. We found this was a key ingredient to our major incident process being successful. The best way to think about this is if you think of your local fire station. When that alarm bell goes, everyone is up, dressed in their safety gear and in the fire engine within minutes, talking about the incident, whilst on their way to resolve it. Your major incident resolver groups and technical teams need to be exactly the same, ready to jump on that first technical bridge to discuss the impact of the incident and the next steps to resolve. This is possibly one of the hardest things to get right, but it's potentially one of the most rewarding. Your approach to this depends on the type of team and their involvement within the major incident process, so try to take a personalised approach rather than a one-for-all type approach. The next one is around definitions. Having a clear and unambiguous definition set helps make sure your engagement and response times are low, as it makes it easier for your service desk and anybody involved in that area to help spot a major incident when they happen. We found our time to engage was not quite where it needed to be, and following some feedback, a few feedback sessions to look into why this is, we found the definitions were a little too complicated and confusing, meaning it took longer to decide if we had a major incident or not. These have now been reviewed and cleared up to be less confusing and more relatable to the teams. And then lastly, one of the main areas where we found improvements for was around testing. Testing your process is a must if you want it to succeed. This goes for any process, but even more so for a major incident one, due to the different types of scenarios it has to cover. We currently test our process against a different scenario once a month and ensuring a different major incident manager takes control each time. This not only tests the process against the given scenario, but also helps keep our major incident managers sharp. If you're fortunate to not have many major incidents, then I would suggest maybe testing this more frequently. It's better to find flaws in the process during testing than it is during a live situation. So what's next for us then? So this process has been live now since April. We've had the opportunity to run genuine major incidents through it. We know where we need to improve. We've made improvements to the process. So as with any process now, this is all going to be around continual service improvement. And we're going to use 4 certain areas to help drive those improvement initiatives. Using these 4 sources of information and data, this allows us to get a real feel for how this process is performing. Tie this in with your continual improvement model, and you have a great way to find out where you can improve your process. The really good thing about these 4 sources is that you will get information on what is and isn't working. Don't just focus your efforts on the things that may not be working well. If you start mainly focusing on what isn't working, then the things that are working may also start to suffer, and you will end up in the same position as you were in previously, except now what was once working potentially may not be. Try focusing efforts on making good things great, and don't be afraid of making small incremental improvements. You may not have the silver bullet to fix absolutely everything. So small incremental changes add up eventually, and you will soon see everything steadily improving without cannibalizing those areas that already work well. This can take time to get right, so don't be defeated straight away if you're not seeing, these things happen straight away. So I'd like to leave you with this question. Could you still run your major incident process if your main ITSM tool or communication tool went down? In my experience, many companies do not think about what would happen in the unfortunate event that you had a major incident and also lost your main systems. Whilst it's highly unlikely, it's worth thinking about how you would act in this scenario. If you're not sure what you would do, or you haven't really thought about that, then why don't you pop over to our sponsors and partners for area and speak to them about how they could potentially help you with this. You might be glad you did one day. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you were able to take something away from this, and if you'd like to speak to me more about anything that I've discussed, then please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, or if you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to my LinkedIn profile. So thank you very much, and hope to speak to some of you soon. Thank you.
MIM Virtual Expo 2021. MIM